Once upon a time, there was an old goat who had 7 little kids, and she loved them all with the deep, tender warmth only a mother can know. One day, she gathered them close in the morning light and said, "Dear children, I must go into the forest to fetch food, but beware of the wolf, for he is cunning and cruel, and if he swallows you, you will disappear into his dark belly. You do not want to be in his dark belly." "Do not worry, mother," the kids bleated. "We will not open the door to anyone who does not have your soft voice and your white hooves." The old mother goat kissed each little head and left the cottage. No long after she was gone, the wicked wolf started approaching the cottage. He had been hiding behind the elder tree, watching for the mother goat to be far enough away before he crept to the door and knocked. "Let me in, dear children," he growled, disguising his voice, "for it is your mother." But the children knew better. "You are not our mother," they said. "Her voice is soft and sweet, but yours is rough and growly." So the wolf went to the baker and swallowed a spoonful of honey to smoothen his voice, then returned and knocked again. "Let me in, my darlings," he said sweetly. The kids listened. "That sounds like mother," the smallest one whispered. But the eldest peered under the door and saw the wolf's black paws. "You are not our mother. Her feet are white and gentle." The wolf growled in frustration and stormed off to the miller. "Dust my paws white with flour, or I will eat you whole," he threatened. The poor miller, fearing for his life, obeyed. And so the wolf returned, now with a soft voice and flour-covered paws. He knocked once more. "Open the door, my darlings, your mother has returned." And this time the children, fooled by voice and foot, opened the door, thinking it really was their mother. The wolf burst in like a dark storm. The little kids screamed and scattered like wind-blown leaves. One by one he found them, under the bed, behind the curtain, inside the cupboard. Only the youngest and smartest child hid safely inside the top of the tall grandfather clock. The hungry wolf swallowed the 6 kids whole, one after another, gulping them down with greedy slurps. Each child was swallowed alive, sliding down the wolf's wet throat, with their tiny hooves scratching at the wolf's throat reluctantly on the way down. The children found themselves curled in the hot, dark wolf's stomach. It stank a lot of the stinkiest bile and rotting spoiled meat that wasn't finished decomposing yet. As the baby goat kids listened to the groaning noises with gurgling sounds as digestive fluids sloshed about, they couldn't help but think they could be that pile of spoiled meat soon. Each child, confused and terrified, clung to the others, crying out for their mother. "It is tight in here," whimpered the second kid. "I can't breathe well." "The walls, they move," said the fourth. "I can feel it pressing on me." Though the wolf's stomach did not digest them, it held them prisoner in its stinking, fleshy sack. When the old mother goat came back to her cottage and saw the door wide open and the house in disarray, her heart dropped. She called out, "Children, my little ones." Only the youngest answered, climbing from the clock, weeping. "The wolf swallowed them, mother, all 6. I saw him." The mother goat did not cry. She set her jaw, sniffed the air, and followed the scent of her children and the wolf to a soft glade where the beast, heavy with his gluttonous feast, lay asleep under a tree, his belly swollen huge. She noticed movement in his belly and realized that her children were swallowed whole and still alive. Mother Goal crept close slowly and quietly. With a deep breath, she widened her jaws and opened her throat, swallowing the wolf whole while he still slumbered. Her body stretched and swelled to accommodate the massive size of the gluttonous wolf, and the weight of him filled her belly as the children had once filled his. Now with the wolf inside her, she waddled to the nearby river, where a wide, flat raft of driftwood bobbed lazily in the water. She climbed atop the raft and, with effort, forced the sleeping wolf from her body. He emerged in a long, wet, slick fat piece of mass, sprawled beside her. His belly was so full from the children, he was still deep in dreams, unaware of the journey he had just made. The old goat placed her mouth gently on the wolf's lips, as if she were about to give him a big wet kiss. She whispered into his throat, "Children, come to me. Follow the sound of my voice and climb inside my mouth." Inside the wolf, the kids heard her voice. It was faint, but it was echoing through his guts. One by one, they moved toward the sound. The oldest child crawled first. He pushed through gently, as not to wake the wolf. He eventually found the path up the wolf's throat. It was warm and wet, and the muscles were twitching creepily. But then, he saw a light. His mother's jaws were wide open, waiting for his arrival. And so he wriggled out of the wolf's fangs and into the mother goat's soft mouth, and was gently swallowed again, this time with love. He slid down her throat, and unlike the wolf's throat, the mother goat's was warm with comfort and sweet with hay and thyme. Her stomach was cozy and safe, so he felt no fear there. The second child nervously followed. She had to climb past coils of slippery flesh, past the remains of the wolf's last meal. Her hooves squelched with each step. But as soon as she felt her mother's tongue, tears of joy filled her eyes, and she let herself be drawn into her mother's body. The third child was even younger, and got lost in the dark and had to feel along the walls in the dark. His tiny horns brushed against the wolf's ribs, so he froze for a moment, thinking he had awoken the wolf. He whimpered until he saw his mother's throat above, so he scrambled up with renewed hope and disappeared into her mouth, the warmth of her swallowing hug soothing him with a feeling of safety that he needed so badly in that moment. The fourth and fifth kids came together, twins who had held hooves the whole time. They moved like one body, clambering up the wolf's throat together, sliding into their mother's mouth together. The sixth child was the smallest. He was frightened and was sobbing in the wolf's belly, unwilling to move. But the mother goat sang a lullaby into the wolf's throat, and it echoed down into the child's heart, allowing courage to build in his tiny beating heart. Bravely, he climbed up and forth. The journey was hardest for him since he was so tiny. His small frame forced him to climb twice as hard as the older, bigger children. At last, he entered his mother's warm mouth and was gently swallowed along with the other kids. Yay! All the children were now safely inside Mother Goat's belly safely. The mother goat looked down at the wolf's now deflated belly beside her. He snored on, ignorant and vile. How could such an evil animal be so lazy? She thought. Quietly, she stood up tall and stepped off the raft, and with a kick of her strong hind legs, flipped it. The wood turned over, and the wolf, still in slumber, rolled into the water. He thrashed for a moment, snorting, then waking up a second too late, and then sank into the river's cold belly, deeper and deeper, until he was seen no more. Mother Goat smiled at the sight. The old mother goat walked back to the cottage with careful steps, her belly literally full of life. Inside her, the children were nicely curled up, nice and warm, and getting drowsy from all that had happened today. The sway of Mother Goat's walk felt like a lullaby, each bounce making the children sleepier and sleepier. When they reached their home, the mother goat lay down upon the straw mat on the floor and opened her mouth wide. Each child came crawling out of the mother goat's mouth, one by one, tasting their mother's mouth again before stepping out into the cottage. The youngest needed help though, so the mother used her tongue to guide him, humming softly until he found his way out and collapsed into her hooves. The old mother goat cleaned each one with her tongue and tucked them into a pile of blankets and love. "Never again," she said, "will the wolf trouble us. You are safe now. My belly will always be your refuge whenever you need it." The wolf is one with the bottom of the river now. And so the 7 little kids lived on with their dear mother in their humble cottage, no longer afraid of being swallowed by a big bad wolf. And they all lived happily ever after.